I'm going to list the 5 biggest questions for the Houston Astros going in to the 2023 season. The obvious one is this. They're going to miss Justin Verlander. I don't think this is debatable. In a season where you will be playing less teams in the American League West than in years past, playing every team across baseball, which means a decent amount of National League East teams, the entire American League East, you do that as it is already. I think it's going to be one of those years where you win maybe a few less games. The real question is, how much are you going to miss Justin Verlander? And are Framber Valdez and Christian Javier capable of carrying the rotation for a full season? Number 2, I'm wearing the t-shirt right now. You can get it at Breaking Tea. Jeremy Pena. It says MV Pena across his shirt as he gives his trademark shrug before his other trademark, the heart hands, which he'd send to the Astros dugout. Is the real Jeremy Pena the guy we saw in the playoffs? This show thinks yes. But is he closer to the guy we saw in the regular season? I think that's a fair question to ask. Number 3, how much of a difference is Jose Abreu going to provide? He is objectively, at this stage of his career, a better player than Yuli Gurriel, but at the same time, Yuli Gurriel was about as clutch as it gets down the stretch and in the postseason. Jose Abreu is someone whose power numbers have started to decline. He's getting up there in age. We're getting towards the late 30s. Is he going to make a massive difference? The next question I have is, who is their biggest American League challenger? That's number 4. I think it's between the Yankees, they brought in Rodon this offseason, and the Mariners, who are a young team, slowly getting better. Teoscar Hernandez, their big acquisition this offseason. And the last question I have for the Houston Astros going into the 2023 season, are they too old? Do they have enough depth? Jose Altuve, Alex Bregman, they're in their 30s. Are they going to make it through an entire season? Michael Brantley is back in the outfield. Is he going to be able to make it through an entire season? Your outfield depth is not great. I think Chas McCormick deserves an opportunity to start in center field. Brantley's going to get some reps in left field. Yordan Alvarez will be out there, and Kyle Tucker's in right. Is that enough? In the infield, is that enough? It seems like right now David Hensley is your super utility. How much is he going to play? And he's going to be able to build off of the pretty clutch at-bats that he had in the postseason. And we will see. So those are my 5 biggest questions for the Houston Astros going into 2023. What are your biggest questions for the Houston Astros going into 2023? Not 2020, 2023. Now I'm all of a sudden starting to think about my TGS Insurance live reads. Sean Mapes behind the glass. Good morning. What's your biggest question for the Houston Astros going into the 2023 season?
Will they win the World Series in a sweep or in 5? No.
I like that, actually. Are they going to be able to go through the postseason with a perfect record?
Got close.
I mean, look, I know people got mad at me when I was talking about that going into the World Series. That was a borderline historic feat. If they were able to win the World Series and go 11-0 in the playoffs, like that is something that would probably be one of the most impressive accomplishments in postseason history going forward until they inevitably expand the playoffs more.
But honestly, I think it is the question of who's the AL challenger, where you look at the AL and you see the Mariners, but they're also in your division, and you swept them and beat them in the regular season by 19 games. And then you look at the AL Central. No one scares you in the AL Central.
Literally does not matter. Much like the Midwest, and I think it's on brand that most of those teams are in the Midwest. And thoughts and prayers on a serious note to the people that are in East Palestine, Ohio. Holy crap. That's all I have to say. Look it up for yourself. I can't believe this isn't a bigger story. But the Midwest, I mean, it doesn't matter. Neither does the American League Central.
And then you look at the AL East, and it's the Yankees, who I don't think anyone in the city of Houston is scared of in any way.
Right.
Just even people walking down the street that aren't Astros fans aren't scared of them. And then you have Maybe it feels like the Rays are due for a bounce back. You have the Blue Jays who haven't won anything in the playoff. So someone has to emerge, at least for like the national media or the talking heads to be like, watch out for this team. Because not everyone's going to pick the Astros. Just ask the Chiefs. No one believes in the Chiefs. No one's going to believe in the Astros either come October.
We definitely will find all the motivational ploys we can over the course of this season. We do have another edition of Keep That Same Energy coming up at 10:15 because we do need to get, it's spring training for us too. We need to get back into
warming up.
Yeah, starting fights online because people don't respect the Astros.
Loosening up the arm. You're on a pitch count on fights online, but we're looking to bump you up slowly in time for opening day.
100%. This is a group effort. We want to continue to be the most toxic fan base in sports. It's fun.
I don't think we're even close to.
We're definitely not, but we can get there someday. Don't we want to challenge Philadelphia for that? We won the World Series. What else is left? Being insufferable, terrible fans? Yeah. I'm just kidding, though. There's a certain point where some of y'all need to calm down every now and then. But hey.
Don't listen to them.
The biggest questions from the Astros going into 2023. The American League Challenger one is interesting. I feel like the Blue Jays get hype every single year to the same degree that the Chargers do in the NFL.
They are baseball's Chargers.
It's like every year, what are they going to do? And then, they easily got dispatched despite having a home series against the Seattle Mariners in that little 3-game series that they had.
And they haven't really done anything. Like, their most memorable moments are, like, series they lost.
Yeah.
It's the most memorable moment.
Seriously.
Until you go back to 1993.
Right. And, you weren't alive and I was 4. So, that's how far back that goes. Paul Gallant Show, ESPN 97.5 and 92.5. 713-780-3776 to call in, to text in as well on the HR&P listener line. Virginia Buttonweed's providing a little motivational material here. Big question. Without Verlander, can we call the Astros a rebuilding team? That is what they will be talking about at the World Series parade. I like that energy. Another question, as far as the biggest questions for the Houston Astros going into the 2023 season. Do we need Clay Walker to sing It's Baseball Time in Houston? Yes. Come on. How hasn't he done that already?
I was going to say the Astros do need a song, and then I remembered Paul Wall came out with the Astros song like 4 months ago.
Do we want to come back with that song?
I
know it's controversial to some. Listen, if we listen to it enough, we'll actually enjoy it. I
don't think that's worked for Football Time in Houston.
Yes, it has.
You don't
like Football Time in Houston?
I don't think it's worked for a lot of people.
Well, they don't get it. Okay.
You've been Soviet Russia brainwashed into liking that song, I feel like.
Yeah, from my time at the flagship, 100%. That's 100% the case. One last question. Virginia Buttonweed, big questions for the Astros going into 2023. How will the loss – hang on, the thing moved for a second. How will the loss of Verlander impact the Texans' run-blocking scheme? Another good question.
Do they need to go with Bryce – do they need to trade up to get Bryce Young because the Astros lost Justin Verlander?
Would Bryce Young be a better baseball player than a football player? Kyler Murray, short. Plays baseball.
Can the Texans trade the number 2 pick for Kyler Murray and then move him to the Astros?
Yeah, these are the questions.
To be a center fielder. Boom.
Exactly. This is a great question. Sean Mapes Behind the Glass. I'm Paul Gallant. It's the most interactive sports talk show in Houston. What are your biggest questions for the Houston Astros in 2023? Plus, it's spring training for us too. We got to maintain that same energy to strike down any rebels who dareth to questioneth our beloved Astros. And we have some ammunition coming up. Paul Gallant Show. Don't go anywhere. Biggest question for the Houston Astros going into the 2023 season. Pitchers and catchers reported yesterday for spring training. We are getting some tidbits out of spring training. Luis Garcia has already changed his pitching delivery, which is one that lends itself to balks. Martin Maldonado lost 17 pounds. That doesn't always work out because if you remember last offseason, I believe we were discussing how thanks to cutting out pizza and Coke, Yuli Gurriel had lost some weight. And then he struggled at the beginning of the year. It's strange how sometimes in sports when you get in better shape, you're not the same player. This was the problem for Dwayne Brown a couple of years back with the Houston Texans too. Came back in the best shape of his life, and he was not good. the first couple of weeks of the season. I don't understand how it's like that, but sometimes you just have a natural playing weight, and if you start to get cut to the point where you're looking swimsuit good, that actually might not help you out.
Trust me, I've seen this play out not just in sports, but also in sports radio, where
What do you mean?
sometimes, for some people, being in the best shape of their life, not always the best.
That I think
at least
can't be true.
at least that's what I assume. I assume that people are like trying not to be in the best shape of their life.
I'm trying to be in the best shape of my life, Sean.
Okay, I believe
I
you
feel like
are.
you're taking a shot at me.
No, I'm taking a shot at literally everyone else.
Am I a little fat right now?
No, I'm taking a shot at everyone else that works in this industry.
But I'm taking it personally.
Okay. Well, do you feel like you're in better shape than you were 10 years ago?
To an extent, yes.
Okay.
Drinking shape, no. But to an extent, yes. To an extent. Like I'm bigger, more muscular.
Okay.
All right, I'll stop. Everyone's like, Paul, Jesus.
I didn't like where that was going.
You turn it all into the Paul Gallant show, but it's like the real Paul Gallant therapy show. This is where I, project all my inner issues. A texter texted in, thank God for satellite radio. I would agree for those last couple of minutes. Hey, some other questions. Will Jeremy Pena stay in the 2-hole? Asks Brother Bear. He should.
In the lineup. The 2-hole in the lineup.
Sean, I get it. You didn't need to repeat the joke. We're just going to let that one marinate for a second. Brantley has to go to the back of the lineup, and Pena has to stay at the top. Pena played too well. Much like Chas McCormick has to be your starting center fielder next year, no matter what happens in spring training. He can bat 0. McCormick has to start the year as your center fielder because he did play well in the playoffs, and he deserves an opportunity to try that out. Will Paul retire the Mariners shirt, the half Astros, half Mariners shirt? Well, every now and then, guys, I need to motivate the Astros, right? I mean, I am the voice of Houston sports talk. Everyone says it. Everyone knows it. And every now and then, you got to poke the bear. Because, look, the Astros are the best team in baseball. But I think we, as a fan base, now that the Astros have won a second title, some of us have started to sigh. A good sigh, a sigh of relief over the fact that they finally won a legitimate one in the eyes of those on the outside. But I sense that some of you still have that piss and vinegar. Yesterday, we had Evan Drellick aboard. Whole podcast is up, the Paul Gallant Show podcast, which is available on Apple and on Spotify. And we talked to him about his book, Winning Fixes Everything. And this comment right here got some of you guys listening going.
For as much as you hear people say, oh, everyone was doing something, the evidence doesn't show that. The evidence shows that veteran contending teams like the Red Sox, Yankees, the book has reporting on the Dodgers, had been using a base runner system, meaning you were using your video room to decode signs, get it to the dugout, get it to the runner on second base. So there's evidence of veteran contending teams. There's not evidence, except for people, third-party finger-pointing allegations saying everybody was doing it. Well, show me. The thing that separated the reporting that Ken Rosenthal and I did at The Athletic on both the Astros and the Red Sox was that it was from the inside. It wasn't just random Joe Schmo random player going, oh, yeah, I think those guys are up to no good. But it's not really evidence of it, right? And so there's got to be some threshold of that.
Some of you guys heard that comment and the other where he was comparing cheating team by team using a metaphor that involves miles per hour, saying what the Astros were doing was like going 130 in a 60-mile-per-hour zone where other teams were going 90. Some of you didn't like that, but it was good because you guys found a little pep in your step during these fat and happy times. I mean, biggest question for the Houston Astros going into the year per Brian McTaggart is who's going to be the backup catcher? So we need to keep you on edge. We need to get you in midseason form like Chandler Rome already is. This tweet yesterday made me cackle. He tweeted out about some of the changes that are going to happen going into the 2023 2023 season balks and said, "Did you know that the Astros pitching staff had only 2 pickoffs all last season?" A guy by the name of Josh tweeted back, "They won the World Series, Chandler." Chandler responded, "Where did I say they didn't?" And Josh goes, "Are you stating this stat to imply it's a less important facet of the game or Maldi is enough of a deterrent? Or, and this is my suspicion, that the Astros suck and you hate them?" Rome, I am writing about the rule changes, which includes a limit on pickoffs. Saw the stat, found it interesting, and shared it. Get a life, clown. Chandler's in midseason form. The season hasn't even begun, and Chandler is ready to club you on the internet. You need to get there. It's time to keep that same energy.
Have you even slightly insulted the Houston Astros today?
If you don't know the facts, then you gotta shut
We'll hunt you down, mother.
They asked for Houston. They got Houston.
This station is now the ultimate power in the universe.
We're keeping that same energy.
Now witness the firepower of this battle station.
You may fire when ready.
Alvarez, it's a high drive center field. Beerling's back. This game is turned upside down.
You're damn right we'll play that highlight twice in the same show. We're trying to keep the good vibes going, but we're also trying to get you guys back at your A game. Here's something to get pissed off about. There will not be a documentary coming out anytime soon about the Houston Astros dynastic, per Nick Wright of Fox Sports, run. Although he was talking about the Chiefs. But we apply it to the Houston Astros. 6 straight American League Championship appearances. It's more impressive than what the Chiefs have been doing. ESPN announced it is working on an 8-part documentary series titled The Yankees Win. Oh, no. We just had an 8-part Yankees documentary. We just had one. Or was it 7 parts? About the captain, Derek Jeter. Oh, my God. We're getting another one. The documentary will focus on the Yankees' success, including interviews and some never-before-seen footage.
Well, if it's called Yankees Win, though, like the documentary just ends in 2009, right? Like,
That's what I'm assuming.
Just doesn't. There's nothing that happens like while Barack Obama's president, like, or I guess he's 1 year into his presidency.
I think so. Look, this is the version of keep that same energy that Yankee fans get. Sometimes you need reminders of the 27 rings that you didn't actually ever watch. You know? I mean, there's a lot of Yankee fans alive today who have only seen the one that they won in 2009. Some people need to see what they won in the 90s and all the years before. This is how they can get back up and remember, oh, yeah, we can still say 27 rings. Because, hate them all you want, those jabronis still can do that. It sucks, you know, to have somebody wearing someone with a Yankees hat on, and he's got his wife beater, and he's got his faux gold chain, and he's probably wearing a Jorge Posada jersey, and he's got his Timberlands on. You know, that guy is still going to say 27 rings to you. This is how he keeps that same energy. We keep that same energy by seeing this and feeling pissed off about the fact that the Astros and their dominance of the Yankees will likely not be included in this documentary.
No, I mean, it won't be because the title is Yankees Win.
Yes.
What do you call a documentary the Yankees? So, like, it's literally just going to be propaganda. Like,
Yeah.
it's just going to be the winning.
100%.
It's not going to be the losing.
I think that the more interesting Yankee teams have been the ones that had a lot of bleep. Like the Bronx is Burning ESPN miniseries that was on a couple of years ago. Like, that was intriguing. You know, Reggie Jackson, now a Houston Astros legend, not a New York Yankees legend. Can they actually include Reggie Jackson in this documentary, by the way?
Or
I mean, he's the Astros, officially an Astro now.
So they show highlights of him hitting home runs in like the 70s or whatever. And then when they go to him like in the interview setting, like when he's talking about it, I hope he's wearing an Astros cap.
I hope so, too.
Or at least like a zip up or something.
He needs
a polo
to.
shirt.
He needs to. They probably won't let him, though.
They'll blur it out like, like it's
Yeah, definitely.
explicit.
It'll be censored. Right. Like, they'll just have, like, a big black bar over it, essentially. Because it'll be, like, poorly edited. I'm kidding. This will likely be an interesting documentary, but no Astros, pardon it. Also, keep that same energy for this. ESPN only gave the Astros a C+ for their off-season grade. Oh, I thought all grades were generally easy in 2023. This is inconsistent. A C plus from ESPN is essentially an F because everyone just get B's and A's today with your lazy graders. People that clearly didn't go to private schools. They don't grade hard. Oh, a C plus? They got Jose Abreu. They hired the Dana Brown. They let Justin Verlander walk because they got a damn good pitching staff already. This is the ammo you need to keep that same energy, people. We are in spring training form, but we will continue to find you things that'll make you angry and get you mad as hell.